Alright, well, today is Thursday. I haven't made an entry for a couple days. So what do I want to talk about today? I don't know. A couple things on my mind. One of which is how the world seems to me how it's messed up. I talk with my dad about this a lot, mainly because I don't really seem to talk to anybody else anymore about this stuff. But yeah, I talked to him today about how we on this planet have, well, maybe not all over the planet, but at least in America, we have plenty of food, and there are still starving people in the country. I don't know why there are starving people. And yeah, I just think everybody should be able to get food for free, and I think there should be a mechanism in place for everybody to get food for free. I don't know what the mechanism is. Maybe we could, decide that nice and quickly, kind of like food stamps for everybody, but just decide on it quickly. And it would probably be via taxation. I argue raising taxes on basically everybody, but mainly the rich classes, obviously. The income tax and corporate taxes and capital gains, and basically anyone who is very wealthy, make their asses pay more in taxes. The so-called entrepreneurs and whatever. I like taxes. I like it a lot, and I think people that have money should pay money because I picked my nose, fuck you. Why should we continue to tax the lower classes who, can't afford to manipulate the tax system so that they end up paying almost no taxes? When rich people can totally afford. And if you earn, and I use the term earn kind of lightly or loosely, if you earn, and this is not even really very rich, but if you earn, say, $250,000 and you're paying, say, 50%, not even go that high, but 50%. So 50% on $250,000, that would be the high bracket, but we'll just make it easy so everybody can understand. That means you're paying $125,000 in taxes, but you still get to keep $125,000. And if you're going to be bitching about getting able to keep $125,000, then I think you're an asshole. And that's just what I have to say about it. And if you're earning, or in my words, I don't know how to phrase it, but stealing would be the operative word for some professions. More than that, say $400,000, $500,000 or more, $1 million a year. If you get taxed at higher rates, you still get to keep more of the money. You end up keeping the money. You should be focused more on what you get to keep, because you're living in America, not, some country run by, rampaging hordes of people with guns and, that want to grab your children and cut their legs off if you don't pay them ransom. So, you're in a free democracy where you have things, rights like voting and stuff like that. So, yeah, there you go. You got to pay for the free country, astards. And you should also think of it as a kind of a badge of honor that you have the privilege of being one of the lucky ones that actually gets to pay for, I don't know, if you're earning, and again I say earning lightly, but if you're earning $2 million a year and that last $1 million would be taxed at, say, 80%, you're putting 800,000 of that into tax fund. You're paying for a good chunk of a school. That means you're funding, I don't even know how many kids' educations. Maybe 10 kids' educations for 2 years or something like that. That should make you feel pretty good. You shouldn't be saying to yourself, why am I paying so much in taxes? You should be saying, I feel good because my tax dollars support those kids' education. That's what you should be thinking about. No, you want to be a dick and saying, why don't I get $800,000? But that's the America we live in. We say, I'm an asshole and I should be able to keep my $800,000 and spend it on a really fucking expensive foreign car or whatever the hell you want to spend it on. 10 dozen Asian strippers, which might be a good idea, but those strippers only last for maybe 10 nights, so they're kind of fleeting. It'd be good 10 nights, though. Although you could have a block party and have them for one night and spread the love around the entire block. There's no kids allowed at that block party. 18 and older. But, yeah, and that's just another example of what we could do with taxes and why taxes should be raised dramatically. I like to call it raise taxes astronomically, just so that no one is under the impression that I'm calling it tax reform and trying to hide it under some euphemism. No, I want to make sure that everybody understands that taxes will be raised, and they will be raised sufficiently to pay for any kind of program. But, you know, we could, with taxes being raised that much, it means we could raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We could make it so that everybody, and I mean everybody, has enough food stamps to pay for their entire family so that nobody needs to spend any money on food. They could give everybody a housing, not credit on their like taxes, but a housing, what was I going to call it? Stipend, I guess is the word. A monthly housing stipend that you could use for either your mortgage or your rent payment. And we could also institute something called a universal basic income that we could either decide to implement at age 18, or what I would rather, I'd prefer implementing at age 16 at a much lower income level, just to get the 16-year-olds starting to kind of manage money, so they could learn how to manage money at an early level. And with that increased tax base, we could also start programs to revitalize the environment, undo the unbelievable amount of environmental damage caused to the country. I mean, just the I can't even begin to describe the level of environmental damage that has been caused to our country alone. I mean, not to speak of the rest of the world, but, you know, we gotta try and clean up what we've done to our own borders. So, yeah, and then of course, redesign the entire infrastructure, not rebuild it, you know, pave over old roads and stuff. I'm talking redesign the entire infrastructure for like 2050 technology, 2100 technology. So just rip everything up and completely redesign it, which is just going to be such a massive undertaking in itself. All these things will be, you want new jobs, do that. Everybody's going to be employed for the next fucking 2 generations. There's going to be more jobs. We're going to have to have immigrants come into the country again. So, yay for immigrants. Going to have to lift that travel ban that Mr. Trump wants to put into place. But all this will probably not happen because the national state of affairs with the country and the temperament of the American populace. Oh well. What can you say? At least the rest of the world seems to be kind of starting to progress, while America is going down the pooper. And I don't know. Maybe we'll have some hope after these next 2 to 4 years if new representatives are elected, because this current situation with representatives is not looking good. So, yeah. And corporate situation is something I'm not liking either. Okay, well, that's enough of me complaining. I'm gonna go walk my bad ass a little bit, see if I can't alleviate my situation. I weigh a little bit too much. It's the soda. Very tasty, but man, it adds weight. God. I mean, it's very, very deceptive how much weight you can gain by just drinking soda in addition to whatever you eat every day. Very devious and very tasty. Me loves it. Cheers.